Yes. Greetings of the day.
One moment, one moment, one moment.
Yes. Hello.
Yes, welcome to everyone to the Global Talk Show. Today with you is Veronica Seban, and I have invited an eminent guest, none other than Mike Littman. Mike Littman, so it's a huge honor having you here on the Global Talk Show by Business Power Academy, Netherlands. So by the Global Talk Show, we are sharing our life story experience from heart to heart to empower each other, to make massive impact, to inspire and to motivate our lovely audience around the world. I would love to invite you and to present yourself and to tell us more so about your background. Who are you? What are you doing for a living? And as for etc.
Highly appreciated. I'm feeling seriously elated, empowered, thrilled, and seriously proud because I'm having a talk with the greatest lady, and I just want to congratulate you. Why? Because it's your month. It's a March, and just a couple of days ago, like we have the greatest celebration about the women. And I'm pretty lucky because I'm talking to the greatest lady on the globe, and you seriously putting a lot of dent on the globe. So I'm feeling so elated, and I would really love to share about. I like all other success stories. I had a humble beginning, and I grew up with a lot of setbacks, rejections, objections, deductions, and a lot of thick and thin like situations. So I had a special seed in my heart. And today, I want to tell you seriously why, because the world's biggest fear, a lot of people fear me if I get a jump from the top. So it's the biggest fear. And other people have fear like to share the stage, or when they come on the podium on the so they have a feeling they feel so it's a big risk in their life. So there are top 10 fears. So what I could find like in my last two decades, the biggest fear is not seriously jumping from the top. The serious element in this is going to be phenomenal. Why? Because the biggest fear in our life is to share your personal story, because we have a lot of success stories, but people don't share their failure story. And I want to tell you, people don't learn from success stories. People learn from the failure story. So I've been the big hero. I've been like through a lot of setbacks. I want to tell you seriously, like from my childhood, from my classroom, and from my home, from my, to like to hold my education. And seriously, like when I wanted to make it impact in my life, I wanted to start on my career. So it was full of setbacks. So it wasn't quite easy, and but I had a dream. I had something in my heart that I would speak up to the people all over the globe, because I had one idea that I have something in my heart. But I want to tell you, when I was growing up, I was bullied because of a lot of reasons. Because of my face, because of my dresses, my shoe. I've been bullied because I was really had a humble beginning. I was growing up really onto the grassroots where the people never given me respect, even to my father. So I've been through a lot of misery that yeah. So I had a feeling in like one day I gotta be the different person. I won't be the same. So the vulnerability, of course, helped you a lot. So uh, my mom played a pivotal role to create my story. I will share my more stories about my mom, because today is a story day, my stories day and your story day. So I'm pretty sure like if you're gonna learn something from my story, I gotta be pretty lucky, you know. But I want to tell you, so my biggest concern, what I've been feeling for my last couple of decades, I don't know a lot of failure story. I have the failure story, and we learn from the failures. We don't learn from success. And I feel a few people like to took steps and they are sharing their failure stories. In the United States, there's people celebrate a day when people come and they share their failure story because only 3% people, they are in the top, okay? And the other people, they are not having the same kind of life, you know? So we are going through a lot of failures. So I had a humble beginning. I had a lot of issues, the class dyslexia issue. I had a writing issue and listening issue. I had a lot of problems. I can't tell you seriously. So I had a problem with like a speech delay, or like I had a learning disabilities and self-mutism, like I've been through. Like I had no idea when people ask, or in different situations, I was unable to speak up even if I was right, but I was punished uh, because I couldn't speak up. So it was horrible. Um, Faced it off, and I feel like the nature was looking at me, and I think like I was being, I've been through all the vulnerabilities, and it was, I think like my story was happening. It's really out of the world. It's really out of my mind. You know, when I say I had a problem in writing, like many a time I was punished when my teacher asked to write 10. And I wanted to write 10, but I put the zero on the other side. So it was one. It happened many a time. I had a lot of self-doubts and I started to live in with a self-esteem. But one day I had a very special thought. I was a backbencher. No one was ready to listen to my talk. So I could feel like in my class, uh, it was just my reflections. I started to have a talk with him and I could get some courage. He became my friend. So he was my first audience. I started to speak with them and I had a problem. I was used to stutter from a childhood because I was going through a lot of self-doubts. I started to believe in I can't do it. I had to believe that I'm really down. Like I see other people like they were doing great, but I'm feeling like I can't do it. I'm not enough. I was growing up with this feeling, but I had a very special talk. And I talked to myself, no, you're not gonna be no more like this. You are so special. You can do something special. So I started to talk with one guy, then I started to talk with a couple of more guys, more boys in my class. And I started to have a talk with the group and then to the class. So I was stretching step by step in my class. And I had to feel like if I would share my problems, my fears with people, so what people would be thinking about it. You know, I was not sharing with my parents. That's what's happening in my class. I was being bullied a lot for so many reasons, you know. I had no money and I always been waiting. I but I want to tell you one great thing. I always went with my lunchbox and I shared it with other people. I never took my lunch in my school life. I've always, you know, been donating my lunch to one boy in the class. And when we completed high school, he paid me, thank you. My God, you know, you helped me a lot whole of my school life when giving me your lunch. Even most of the time, I went without my breakfast, but I donated, I gave my lunch to someone else. So after coming from school, you know, I took my breakfast. So I've been through, you know, but I had, you know, it's like a special seats. I had a very special story, very special.
It's very impressive. So your life story, and it touched really my heart because you have been going through so many challenges. But I am curious, and I would love to know how did you gain more confidence? What has helped you, you know, to transform the
I,
or to transform the disability into ability, actually, because that's very
My
powerful. And
self-talk, my self-talk, I can tell you, like a soldier, like a special seed. And I had a seed and I decided like I wanted to become best in my given environment. And then I never been satisfied. So I had a very special talk to myself. I said I would never get to the doctor. I would never share with anybody, right? What I'm feeling about, what I'm going through. So I talked to myself and I started to fix myself. And the confidence, comes in your life when you try something again and again. All right. You fail 1,000 times maybe, yeah, then you get confidence. So I could get that self-confidence in my life. It was because of my very special talk, what I had to myself. This is what I mostly talk to the people because if you go to work on your high self-esteem or low self-esteem, or maybe you go to work on every self-esteem. So self-esteem, I don't want to sell this topic because self-esteem maybe if you go high, so it would help you like to become more egoist. If you go to do the lower self-esteem, of course, like you won't love to help, you won't get out of that zone. Or if you don't have high or low self-esteem, then you're gonna have the average self-esteem, and no one wants to become average. All right. So it's a special talk, it's a self-compassion. Like how do you treat yourself, right? So I started to get hard on myself. I started to talk myself, no, you're gonna do something big. I know you can do it. And I started to try. I failed and I was monitoring my talk. I never had afterwards any kind of negative talk, or always have a positive talk because all your success is happening out of here and here, right? So your whole world is here. So this is like what, how do you treat yourself? How do you want to come out of the situation? So it's not so bloody loopy about you. Your life is about you. And when I grew up, then when I look back, it looks so amazing. And then I started to learn uh, from other textbooks, like, wow, okay. So, from day one, I like been doing something out of the box. I want to tell you my story. When I was so young, I had a problem. I always had a believing because I was going to my school with the lousy dresses and the cheapest shoes. I had no bicycle, no bike, or so I've been used to walk a lot, right, from my school. And one day I came from school, I was really down, and I told you like my mom had a very special, like Saturn and all. I got an amazing mom. I also got an amazing mom. My mom always asking me questions. And one day she asked me to write my story. I said, Mama, I don't have a story, right? You knew even I don't have a pocket money, right? I want to eat an ice cream, but I can't manage, right? Uh, I'm not going to the grade school. I'm not going to like the school on a car. And if you look at like my other classmates, like they're amazing. They have the big car. They have the great dresses. They have the pocket money. They're reckoning a cash. They really enjoy a bit of their life. So what I have, what's my story? She said, no, I want you to write your future story. What you're gonna do in the future and see yourself like your life is happening in the future. I said, yeah, I can think about it. So I just a piece of paper and I wrote my story. And my mom just looked at the story and she said, wow, you're amazing. Do you know like who was I in that story? I was like a Spider-Man, like a person who can help anybody, who can fly from this place to another place, who can inspire more people, who is always fixing the people's problems and challenges and issues, and always ready to go 1 mile ahead, always. So I created myself like very interesting character. Mama, look at but I told her, Mama, it's just a manuscript. It's just a story. Don't believe it. She said, no, if you can imagine your story, it can happen because all your imaginings are real. I want to tell you here, imagination is not a new thing. Imagination is always about old thing, right? So imagine is not anything creative. It's something like happened in the past, right? So your imagination is about your memory. So I don't know like what it was happening all that, but I could really execute my story, and I've been like editing my story every day. And my mom always helped me. She always encouraged me. I want to tell you, like I got a very special mom. Whenever like we went to any marriage ceremony, or like even we are in some funeral ceremony, or we were in like in some groups, okay, the community, my mom always said, "Hey, look, he's my son, and he's gonna be the big success." And she shared always this greatest sentence everywhere. And she always helping me to believe in, yes, Michael, you're gonna be the biggest success story. I knew you got something special in your heart. And I was the backbencher. I was bullied in a class. But on the other side, man, mom was helping me to create a bigger story. Mom always, even in the funeral ceremony, hey, everybody, she helped me like to face off the music, like to face the people off. She said, okay, hey, look, my son. She always introduced me with the people. I said, look, he's my son. And you'll see like he's going to be the biggest success story. And I always feel embarrassed, always feel, embarrassed. Hey, and I like coming back from any funeral ceremony, the marriage ceremony, the community or the group. And I always talk to my mom,
But
what are you
saying
talking
that,
about?
so
I
sorry,
didn't.
Sir Mike, saying that, I would love also to mention that I think that the most biggest and most beautiful achievement of a mom is seeing the results and achievements of her child. And in this case, so I think that the most achievement of your mom have been your results. And yeah, and relating to
I never
related also,
support.
yeah,
I never
related,
support. Yeah.
yeah, related to the imagination. I do believe that the power of imagination transcends all the limitation that we sometimes can create. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
because we have just to do it, to take action. And moving forward, so I would love to ask you, who has been for you the greatest motivator and inspirator ever in your life?
Uh, Foremostly, I want to tell you, my mom and like my father had a lot of stories for me, right? I traveled a lot, and last time when I was in speaking to the people in China, and when Chinese girl came up and hey, Mikey, now what brought you here? Like, why are you here? Like, it's a long journey, and then you came up here. So what's the story? Like, how could you get inspired? Like, why you came up here? So I said, because of my father. When I was growing up in my childhood, my father went to China, and he shared a lot of stories about the Chinese. He shared with the Chinese people, they put all their sense into the work. They always working so hard, smart, and they are so workaholic. He always told me the greatest stories. I'm telling you, I'm not really, I've been to school, college, university, but I could learn something special from my parents. And I want to tell you, everything happens in your life because the stories you have listened in your childhood. This is what could happen in my life. I listen a lot about Chinese. So I went there and I talked to them like I'm here and I'm giving you my talk, or like in the Shenzhen University, I'm giving you my talk. The reason why, because my father told me that the Chinese, they are workaholic people. They are amazing. They love to be successful and they give all their sons to the work, you know. So I told and what the stories I could listen in my childhood, the same things started to happen in my life biologically and physiologically and psychosociologically, emotionally. I was connected to the story. So whatever is happening in my life right now, I just imagine when I look back and I see my parents like they have shared everything with me, what's happening right now. Biologically, I love to do it. Feel so amazed and I feel so elated when I'm doing something like and when I see like why I'm doing. So it's happening because of the stories I could listen. So life happens because of your stories. What's your story? What one story could inspire you? So I've been like being inspired through my mom and my father, like they share a lot of stories. My father was in British Army, right? He shared a lot of stories about the British people and other kind. So I grew up with stories. I don't know about like the books. I don't believe in logic. I'm so emotional. I believe in stories. And now I'm sharing my story. One day I could write my story. I executed my story. I've been at it in my story. I've always been making my story great, but then I started to believe in my story. Because when I talk to my mom, Mama, I don't have a story. What are you talking about? I feel bad when you talk to people. Yes, Mike, see, he's getting the biggest success story. I said, Mama, it's not quite possible. She said, No, it's quite possible. And it's because of you. You are special. You got a specialty. You got a special heart, and there's no one replacing you. So you're gonna become great story. I'm telling you, like I was not great student ever in my life. I was not even reading. Even for last so many years, even I'm reading a line from a book. So I forget like where's the next line. So I had a dyslexia, to read. So what I'm speaking right now, the story is what I could listen. So a lot of people, because your life is average of the five people you are surrounded with. So I started to listen, what could inspire me on the globe, seriously. So there are five, seven people like they could inspire, and I always give all my sense listening Tony Robbins. There's no doubt, Tony Robbins, I feel like he's the godfather of godfathers. Then Brian Tracy and Bob Proctor, or like Louise Hay could make a real, real, real impact spiritually. I could go up because, and I was so inspired by the greatest people story. I'm so inspired by Dr. Ruth Fow. Like I always took her like my spiritual mother, my you know because I got one biological mother, but I got two very special moms in my life, and I could learn and I could develop a service heart because of three most important ladies in the world. Personally, if someone asked me, what are your most three top inspirations to life? So there is Marie Curie, all right, got two Nobel Prize one, and then you see Dr. Ruth Fow, and then Angela Merkel. Like they are amazing people. Service are the greatest souls on the globe. And I recommend everyone to read their stories, all right, and follow their story because they were like more than success. I think they were amazing service hearts, So life is not about it's like the nature is moving, it's always operational, all right. And we are born like to make an impact because we are getting free oxygen. We are getting a lot of free resources in our life. So we are indebted to pay back, to this nature. So we are born to work for the nature, like the nature, right, is working. So we most my greatest talk like I had on work ethic. So by biologically we are born to work. We are not born like to take rest all the time. No, we are born to work and always work in all your waking hours. Always work in your waking hours. You're gonna be so lucky. I was happy, when you told me like I'm busy like in some workshop and a conference. Then I deliberately said, all right, that's good, that's great. So I gave you one extra hour and I was getting ready, but I was so concerned. So the point is we are born to work. Hey everybody, count on me. Count on me, seriously. We all born to work.
We are born
We
to
all born to
produce,
work. And we are
to
born,
contribute.
yeah. And yes, and we are born to work, uh, not for money, not for resources. It's a one-sided love. You're just born to work. You will attract a lot of positive energy to you. And if you develop a service heart and you go in the market with your business skills, I can tell you, and if you really work in the people's unique need, you're going to be massively successful. In like to me, success is totally different. I feel like success is not personal. It's not about you. It's about other people, right? So then you will magnet a lot of positive energy into your life. You will attract success into your life. So you need to get worried about other people's success, not about you. That's why I mostly say, last time I had an interview with on some TV channels, I told them success is not personal. Success is personal means your dream is not personal. You're not want to dream about you. It's dreaming, you're gonna dream about other people. Dream about other people. Dreams are impersonal. Success is impersonal. Responsibility is impersonal. You're not responsible just for your life. You're responsible for everyone on this globe. Why? Because everyone on this globe is your family member. Remember, uh, with our today's perspective, once you say everyone family member, it means you gotta take care of everyone. If you are in sales, if you are in production, if you are in marketing, and you are taking care of people, you gotta be the richest person in the world. But you need to find out some unique need of the people. Seriously, if you gotta help, but because I had a great talk about Jack Ma. Jack Ma says you never need to get worried about where, because it's a dilemma for today's nation, today's people. What kind of problem, what kind of dream I need to have, So it's very simple, right? So you never need to get worried about, because you are born to get worried about for one thing in your life. And that will be your purpose. And there is your perk. Okay, so you never need to get worried about where your teachers are worried about. You have to think more than your teachers. You never need to get worried about where your parents are worried about. You never need to get worried about where your intimate relations, your family members are worried about. No. You never need to get worried about where your government is worried about. No, no way. You never need to even get worried about what your friends are worried about. Even you
I
never
would
need
love
to get worried
so
about what
so
everyone is worried.
yeah, I would love to move
You
to the
need to
next
get worried about
chapter and
what no
also
one is worried about. Yeah.
sorry, I would love to move to the next chapter, and I am curious to know what does make you unique in your opinion in serving people. What does make you unique in
Exactly.
serving people?
What one thing you experienced in your life and it has been hurting you for a long time, and now you don't want to experience it, and at the same time you don't want people to experience it. That's where your opportunity is. That's where, because that's the biggest challenge for you. So this is your first thing, so you're going to work on it, right? If you're in networking, like I know in today's world we are facing now two biggest challenges. Number one is networking, right? So the more you have networks, you're going to be the big salesperson, right? So it's all about networking. So along with networking, self-branding is also the biggest challenge. But you can't tell people, hey, come on and follow me. You can't point with a finger, hey, come on, follow me. People will follow you if you have a character, if you have a service heart, if you have an empathy, right? If you understand people's challenges, right? So one big challenge you feel like, I can't experience it. And I don't want people to experience it. Why? Because it's so painful. And then become solution for it. It's quite easy. It's pretty easy to choose one big problem because it starts from you. And we see a lot of challenges, a lot of problems are happening around us. We have to pick the one. My one of my students, like is young, Kings, she's so young, she's just 30. And she one day said, Sir, I want to become environmentalist. I said, why? She is learning how to speak with people, how to, because I don't believe in speaking, I believe in influence, I believe in making impact. So she is becoming that impact. She's so young. She said, why? Because, sir, I lost my grandfather and my grandmother, and then I could see a lot of people around me in my family or in my territory. They died because of this contaminated water. So I want to fix it. Problems are always there, but you got to choose one big problem. one big problem which you don't want to experience again, and you don't want people to experience. That's your opportunity. That's what where you have to work, and then never look back. Even you don't have the talent for it, even you are not qualified for it, even you don't have experienced about it, even no one is in it, right? You were born to do it.
Yes,
You were born.
but I
You
want to
got that
mention,
spirit.
yes, related to a problem, I want to mention something which is extremely beneficial for us, servants, and as leaders and mentors and coaches. Because with every single appearance of a problem, it's a new opportunity for solving that and creating, new relationships with the people. That's the way how do I see when there is a problem. Like a problem does exist for solving it and for making a
Yeah,
difference in someone's life. And
absolutely right.
I mean, if we will change the perspective and our attitude towards a problem, then we will make the world a beautiful place.
It's absolutely right. You're absolutely right. If you're doing something what no one is doing, that's great. It is going to help you. It's going to determine like level of your success. It's going to shape your life. But if you're doing something what everyone is doing, then do it differently. Of course, like if you want to try, if you not try, with a different perspective, with a different attitude, like you said, you won't have results because we all look at the results. We all want to get something out of it. I'm speaking why? Because I'm selling myself. I'm branding of myself, right? I want to picture myself like I knew like being a speaker, like when the people listen to my talk, they were gonna hire me for their events. All right, they didn't hire me for the seminars, right? So we are, but at the same time, if you have a service heart, if I'm speaking from bottom of my heart, if I seriously love people, if I have love for humanity, then it's going to be so easy to choose one big problem. It's quite easy. It's all about love. And love is, we have to become love, but at the same time, love is not just a verb. It's kind of action, right? So people will see like how what kind of love you have. If I love to help people, like to speak up in front of people to make an impact, so I help them like how to speak, and I've 24 hours like I'm just doing about how to speak. All right, I'm crazy, I'm passionate, I'm obsessive about my work. Right, so then so it really helps me to get up in the morning and then I have a purpose because when you are a missionary, when you're working in a mission, remember missionary have no lifestyle. They have no lifestyle. Like you see Angela Merkel, like she's been the prime minister and she's been the dean of Germany, like, and she used to put on just €5 suit, and she had only a couple of trousers and three blaze shirts, all right, and one big chester. And she is been prime minister for 15 years, and she's been putting on just these 5 or 6 dresses. She never used a private car. She's been using the public transport. And she had no janitorial staff at home. She had no assistant. She had no chef at home. She's been washing her clothes herself. She's been ironing her clothes herself. And she's been the prime minister of Germany. And she brought 360-degree changes in the globe. Life is so amazing. It's about choosing one mission. She was the greatest artist, but she chosen to help people. She said she decided, no, I can't help people in a much better way if I gotta stay in a laboratory because she was a great scientist. And she decided, no, I don't want to I don't want to work in a laboratory. I need to bring more changes. And she started and she went into the politics. And she was available to her staff for 18 hours, 19 hours, and she had only 3 to 4 hours sleep. And whenever like she was available to her staff, and anybody can call her anytime. And she never got angry. She never flared up. Even it's a sleeping time. She said, like, I just sleep on the weekends. All right. Her husband was a professor in one university, and he's been professor forever, especially during her regime. This is what the life is. It's not about you. It's about others. And she was getting a salary and she was used to wash her clothes at night because she always claimed that if wash my clothes in the daytime, maybe I can consume more electricity. She said, no, I will wash my clothes at night because electricity is much cheaper at night. And she had no good washing machine and she talked to the neighbors, if I got to turn on my machine at night, so I hope you won't be disturbed because it creates a lot of noise. And they said, all right, all right, all right. So she was used to wash clothes at night. And in the morning, husband, like he was used to, and they both like used to go for the errands together. They always, had been ironing the dresses together and they've been cooking together and they've been washing their crockery together. Oh my God. And when she got retired, she was been living in a very small flat. And after retirement, when she got the money, after retirement, she couldn't buy a new house with that money. Look at it. Oh my gosh. They are not from this planet. He's not from this planet. So such people, like, once she was in some fancy dresses, some catwalk, and she went there, and some lady said, hey, you're putting on a very cheaper dress. And she said, I'm not a model. I'm not a model. So it's okay. I'm prime minister. I have a lot of work. So it's all right if I'm going to manage with this. So life is about other people. If you're going to give sense, I'm going to tell you, life will attract a lot of positive energy into your life. Success is already there. Success is already there. You just have to take it out. There is one content, like the leadership has its content. Leaders, they give, they forgive, they forget. And then again, because like Jesus, they are ready to give, they forgive, and they forget. Forgiving is amazingly, it's just a lot of forgiving is a very selfish attitude. It's a selfish attitude. If you are forgiving people, you are becoming successful. You are getting free. You are getting the house or the flare or the room you have given to someone like and who's been messing around, all right? Because mine has a lot of rooms, and don't let it to the people like who is damaging or destroying it, right? Always keep empathy, right? So success, it's about desire, and you need to have one heart-burning desire. It's definitely going to help you.
I love what you said,
I'm feeling pretty lucky,
that success. I love what you said that you said that success it's already there. Like you have just to dive into it and to grab it. But I do believe also, in the deep desire that is within and motivation and purpose. So what is your purpose and how would you love to contribute through your purpose to the life transformation of many people around the world?
Yeah, I've impacted almost like 500 million people, I guess, because from day one, I had this attitude to talk to the people and to inspire them. I met a lot of people, and always I get worried about people, and then I really put this was my attitude. I always had an ambition. It was something like what could really make me happy. That when I help people, when I talk about them, when I help them like to fix their issues and challenges, and I always a life coach, and I really transform them. Transformation means, in a transformer, when there is electricity, it's a 10%. And the transformation means it gets into the 100% and it multiplies. So I love transform people by sharing stories. I love sharing stories because this helped a lot of people. And you're an expert in NLP, neuro linguistic programming. So people believe in stories. People don't believe in advices. And so this is what I could do for last couple of decades. I have mentored and I have shared. I could bring like 360-degree changes in lots of people's life. I could speak up to the millions of people in multiple countries. This what could really inspire me, and still I'm alive, and I get motivation when I speak to the people. One day I was hospitalized, and I had some issues, and a doctor came up, and he was my student. He's been attending trainings. He was a medical specialist, and he came up and he knew one thing about me, that maybe it's sometime, if Mike is getting free, he would get sick. And he came up and then talked to me, Mike, oh, we have one seminar tomorrow. So can you please come over there? I said, hey, I just came up. I said, okay, yeah, I'm coming up to your seminar. What time I have to show up? All right. And he said, around 6 o'clock in the evening, like, are you available tomorrow? I can't, you can make me sure. Why? Because you are in the bed, you need more injections and medicine. I said, I don't need medicine. Please, just talk about like the talk we're going to have tomorrow. And I said, hey, where's my laptop? I took my laptop and started to work. And doctor said, I knew maybe you were free, so maybe you were a little demotivated, so I get on the bed. So my work is my motivation. Like once, and you become what you think most of the time. And I don't want to do anything other than speaking to the people. This work helps me to stay alive. It gives me more motivation. It gives me a more elation. I get more vibrated. It brings me a resonance. All right, it's helping me to become a resounding success. Why? Because I'm thinking about other people's success. I want to make them more productive, and I want to see them more happy in their life. This is what inspiring me all the time in my life. My work is my biggest inspiration. Once David Foster, the greatest impresario, he was interviewed by Darren Hardy, and he said, like, your top 10 songs are always hit a couple of decades. How could you do it? Always your 10 songs are always in the top hits. He said, why? Because I created thousands of songs. So your success is only 10%, right? If I create 1,000, so my 10% songs, like the 10 songs really onto the top. So out of 100 songs, my 10 songs are on the top. If I create that, so I have created thousands of songs. And he said, like, how do you recreate yourself when you get tired? He said, I get tired, I work more, I create more songs. So this is what your motivation, right? Your success is only 10% of your efforts. So you have to increase your efforts, right? And success is always probability. You try different combinations, like like in mathematics. I don't like maths. So like you try different combinations, A B, A C, A D, A E, A F. So you try different. You don't know, like you are just one decision away from a totally different life, and you're going to be massively successful. And I feel like success is not the purpose. So the purpose of life is to create a value in people's life, to work on their basic challenge life they have in their life. That's where your success is.
Absolutely, I am totally agree with you, and I do believe also that the success is a choice. We are creating that, mastering our talent, because without mastering our talent, we cannot get success. Many people, they are pretending, let's say that's the correct term, they are pretending to become successful without doing what is necessary to do. But if you don't take action, if you don't master your skills, so you cannot pretend to become successful. Yeah. And so before we are yes, before we are heading towards the end of the global talk show, I would love also to ask you to share a motivational message with our lovely audience, or a motivational podcast.
So just one thing that I would love to conclude that I don't believe in working hard. I believe in working. Even I don't believe in like if you want to get biggest success in your life, success will never come from hard work. No, success will never come from your hard work. Success even would never come from your uh super work or like the smart work. No, success will never come from your workaholic. No, will come from your super hard work. And super hard work means working in all waking hours and work every day, every day, every day mean every day. There's no off day. You're seriously passionate about something and you feel like, okay, if I'm gonna do this and it would have an impact in people's life, don't look back and just go ahead. You just passion, you just need a courage, okay? Encourage yourself. No one will come to encourage you. Always monitor your self-talk. That's where your life is. That's what, and always come up with the last thing, start and come up with the business skills. You're going to be massively successful. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Mike. It's a real honor having you here with us today on the Global Talk Show, Share Your Life Story Experience, where we are sharing our life story from heart to heart, with the main goal to make massive impact, to motivate and to inspire you. Wishing to all of you and to you, Mike, as well, a blessed afternoon or day. It depends from what country are you watching right now. So see you in the next Global Talk Show session with the next guest. It's been a huge pleasure having you here on the stage.
Likewise, likewise. It was a
Thank you.
great time, really.
Thank you.
That's so articulated. Appreciate it.